When the visible threads of human history intertwine with the subtle filaments of symbolism and archetype, we encounter phenomena that invites the contemplative mind to ponder deeper meanings. Such is the case with the recent ritual assassination of Charlie Kirk. Following a pursuit that, unsurprising to some, endured precisely 33 hours, much esoteric symbolism began to come into view. To the initiate, in the mysteries of number and ritual, this duration of 33 hours evokes the sacred geometry of the Scottish Rite, wherein the 33rd degree represents the pinnacle of visible attainment, a threshold between the profane and the profound. Yet, as in all esoteric workings, the name, the place, and the temporal alignment form the essential pillars of the structure, revealing patterns that echo ancient rites and cosmic harmonies. Let us first contemplate the nomenclature of the departed, Charles James Kirk. In the etymological lore of antiquity derived from the Germanic Karl, Charles signifies the free man, one unbound by the chains of serfdom or vassalage, standing sovereign amidst the feudal hierarchies of old. Kirk, drawn from the Norse kirkja, denotes the church or assembly, the sacred enclosure where souls convene in fellowship. Thus, conjoined, Charles Kirk embodies the Church of the Free Man, an archetypal sanctuary symbolizing autonomy and self-governance, a bastion against the encroachments of centralized dominion. In the symbolic language of rituals, names are not mere accidents of birth, but vessels of resonance, chosen or emphasized to invoke primordial forces. This archetype, the gathering of the unbound, harks back to the assemblies of free men in medieval times, who alone could partake in the guilds and mysteries, including those of the operative and speculative Masons. Herein lies a profound connection. The free man as the cornerstone of Freemasonry, for only such individuals, liberated from worldly bonds, were admitted to the craft. The lodge itself may be envisioned as a church without ecclesiastical overlay, a temple of moral architecture where the tools of the builder shape the inner edifice of the soul. Thus, Charles Kirk subtly mirrors the Masonic lodge, the house of the free man, where rituals unfold in measured degrees. One might discern a veiled allusion to the slaying of Hiram Abiff, the widow's son and master builder of Solomon's temple, whose martyrdom perpetuates the brotherhood's renewal. In this light, the public sacrifice of one named Church of the Free Man, also known as Charlie Kirk, suggests a symbolic interment of antique ideals, sovereignty, liberty under divine law, and the enlightenment of reason. In their stead arises a new order, perhaps the temple of the global citizen, governed by technocratic principles and Noahide lawfare, where individual freedom yields to a collective surveillance. The numerological seal upon this event is unmistakable. The manhunt's span of 33 hours aligns with the exalted degree of Masonry, while the locale of the act, encompassed by right angles, emblematic of the square upon which the Mason treads, places the victim at the center of a pentagonal form, evoking the pentagram, that ancient sigil of protection and invocation. Furthermore, the assailant, age 22, bears the master builder's number in Cabalistic numerology, a vibration associated with the erection of grand structures, both material and metaphysical. His name, Tyler Robinson, carries its own esoteric weight. Tyler, in Masonic tradition, is the sentinel who guards the lodge's portal with drawn sword, warding off the uninitiated. Robinson, evoking son of Robin, resonates with themes of inheritance and usurpation, perhaps alluding to the robbing of life or legacy. And his middle name, James, like that of the victim, traces to the Hebrew Yaakov, or Jacob, the supplanter who wrestled with the divine and emerged as Israel, he who strives with God. This encodes transformation, replacement, and the ascent of a new patriarchal order. Geographically, the suspect's proximity to Zion National Park in Utah, a region steeped in Mormon mysticism, itself interwoven with Masonic threads, binds the event to the concept of Zion, the promised city of refuge and renewal. In Mormon eschatology, Zion must be erected ere the return of the Messiah, a literal and symbolic edifice. Utah, as a stronghold of such traditions, amplifies this resonance. The wound inflicted upon the neck recalls the penal sign of the entered apprentice, the gesture of throat-cutting, a solemn oath binding the initiate to secrecy upon pain of dire retribution. Freemasonry and what is today called Judaism are essentially the same religion. The Kabbalah is at the core of both spiritual belief systems. Some researchers believe modern Judaism actually descends from the land of the Moabites, descendants of Lot, a realm of alliances and adversities with Israel, where prophetic manipulations and curses were wrought. Symbolically, it serves as a stage for messages veiled in action, not mere caprice. Viewed from above, the site of the oration resembles the menorah, that seven-branched candelabrum of the temple, emblem of divine light and the tree of life in Cabalistic doctrine. Positioned thus, the victim occupies the sphere of Kether, the crown, or perhaps a shadowed counterfeit thereof, suggesting a dethronement of sovereign intellect. The temporal alignment consummates the ritual drama, occurring on September 10th, on the cusp of September 11th, a date etched in modern memory as the fall of twin pillars, akin to Jachin and Boaz of Solomon's Temple. This event coincides with the midpoint of an eclipse season, commencing with a lunar eclipse on September 7th, a blood moon, harbinger of sacrifice and maternal mysteries. The season culminates in solar obscurity, associated with kingship and paternal order. The midpoint, revered in Babylonian and Mesoamerican rites as the Eye of the Serpent, balances shadow and light, a liminal portal for offerings that harmonize cosmic scales. Thus, the slaying at this hinge point encodes a sacrificial equilibrium, the old temple of freedom interred, the new edifice of unified governance exalted. In this confluence, one discerns echoes of broader transitions, from the Church of the Free Man to the Temple of Zion, from Masonic enlightenment to a darker technocratic dawn. Whether this signifies the renewal of ancient brotherhoods or their supersession by greater designs, perhaps the expendability of Gentile masonry in the shadow of a third temple, remains for the discerning soul to meditate upon. Even the invocation of Donald Trump, born under a blood moon, as deeming the departed legendary, weaves personal destinies into this archetypal web. Certainly a turning point for the Western world. As students of the perennial philosophy, we are reminded that such events, though veiled in tragedy, may serve as mirrors to eternal truths. The judge of their ritual essence resides not in accusation, but in the quiet illumination of the inner light.